An old soldier walked down a dirt mountain trail. After experiencing the horrors of war, he wondered to himself. There we go, just right. He wondered to himself, what makes people happy? The sound of a tolling bell caught his attention, and he gazed down the road and he noticed a village. He could see that the village had been through hard times, but what he couldn't see was that the war had made the people weary and untrusting of strangers. They were even suspicious of their neighbors. They worked really hard, but only for themselves. They had really little to do with each other. As the soldier walked down the path to the village, the people disappeared inside. No one was there to greet him at the village gate, and as he entered the village, people shut their windows tight. These people don't know what happiness is, he muttered. But I have an idea. I'm going to show them how to make stone soup. So he gathered some twigs and some branches and made a fire right there in the middle of the village. And then he got his small tin pot and he filled it with water from the village well and he set it there on top. A brave little girl who had been watching him came up and said, "What are you doing?" "I'm gathering twigs and making a fire," he said. "I'm going to make stone soup. But I'm afraid that it won't be very much because of my small pot." Well, the girl said, "What can I do?" And he said, "Well, I have to start. I'm looking for a stone." So she looked around and she found one, a large, round, smooth stone. So she picked it up and put it in his pot to cook. And he looked at that small pot and he says, "I won't have very much to share with people." And she said, "My mother has a bigger pot." And off she ran home to find the biggest pot in her house. Her mother looked at her and said, "What are you doing?" She said, "There's a soldier in the village and he's going to make soup out of a stone." Said her mother. "Stones are easy to come by. I'd like to learn how to make soup from a stone." So the soldier poked the coals with his stick, and as the smoke drifted up, people in the village started to peer out of their windows. I mean, a fire and a big pot in the middle of the village was a true curiosity. And one by one, they started to come out and take a look at what was going on. Breathing in the aroma of the soup, the soldier said, "Stone soup should be well seasoned with salt and pepper. It's too bad that I don't have any." "I have some salt and pepper," said a teacher. And off he ran and came back with salt and pepper and a few spices. The soldier tasted the soup. He says, "This is going to be excellent soup. The last time I made stone soup, carrots made the broth really sweet." "Carrots?" said a woman in the back. "I have some carrots, but just a few." And off she ran and came back carrying as many as she could hold and put them into the pot. "I wonder if the soup would be better with onions," said the soldier. "Yes, it would," said a farmer. "I think onions would make that soup taste very good." And off he ran and he came back with 5 big onions and put them into the bubbling soup. "This is going to be a fine soup," said the villagers. And everyone nodded because the smell was very agreeable. "It would be nice to have some mushrooms," said the soldier, rubbing his chin. Several villagers licked their lips, and a few dashed off, and they came back with mushrooms and peas and cabbages. Something magical was happening with the villagers. As each person opened their heart to give, the next person gave even more. And as this happened, the soup became richer and smelled more delicious. "I imagine the soup would be better with corn," said a villager. "And potatoes," said another. "And chicken," said another. And so off the people dashed to gather as much as they could carry. The soldier stirred, and the soup bubbled. How this smelled good! How this would taste good! And how the villagers had become generous. At last, the soup was finished. The villagers gathered together. They brought crusty bread and sweet cakes, tea and fruit juice to drink. They all sat down together. They couldn't remember the last time they had been together for a feast. After the banquet, they told stories, they sang songs, and they celebrated long into the night. They opened up their homes and they invited that soldier in and gave him a comfortable place to sleep. The next morning, everybody gathered at the village gate to say farewell. "Thank you," the soldier said, "for letting me be your guest. You have been very generous." "Thank you," said the villagers to the soldier. "You have shown us that even with a little, we have much. You have shown us that sharing makes us richer." "And to think," said the soldier, "to be happy is as simple as making stone soup."